another episode of Breaking Bread, but we have a special guest, Michele Scotto, the VP of Corporate Development at Villa Restaurant Group. We actually go way back to college. We were college buddies at Bentley University, so I'm actually really excited for this because it's unique. We met back, where did we meet?
We met back when it was called Bentley College.
Bentley College, right.
That's how long ago it was.
Yeah.
But it was the not mid 2000, 2004, 5, 6, somewhere in there. We met at La Società Italiana di Bentley College, which was actually an Italian club.
The Italian club for the layman terms out there.
Yes, the Italian club, where all good things happened.
Exactly, exactly.
But yeah, we met way back when I guess I was a senior and running the club, and you were a freshman and got you
just a fresh fish at Bentley College trying to navigate the ways. So.
Yeah, and we were trying to steer you in the right direction towards pasta and vino. So.
Yeah, and wine charity events and all the fun stuff, eating and drinking, right?
Exactly, exactly.
Awesome.
And it's pretty neat bumping into you here just randomly.
Yeah. We're at the Restaurant Leadership Conference 2019, so it's the premier restaurant conference in the world, and randomly bumped into each other in the hallways. So
yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah. Thanks for saying hello.
Yeah, absolutely.
And reconnecting.
Absolutely. So it'd be great to hear a little bit about Villa Restaurant Group. So if you could tell us a little bit about the history of Villa, the story, and tell us a little bit more about it.
Yeah, sure. My grandfather started the company back in 1956. He came over, traditional classic story, dollar and a dream, came over to America, came to New York, was working the docks originally, did it for 2 days and was like, this is not for me. Bought a restaurant, which happened to be a little tiny pizza place about this wide.
Yeah.
Next door to the Ed Sullivan Theater, right in the heart of New York City.
Famous Ed Sullivan Theater.
What's that?
The famous Ed Sullivan Theater.
Famous Ed Sullivan Theater. Had a lot of celebrities go through there, and that's kind of what started it all. From there, they were very successful. He was able to bring more and more family members over to the country with the money he was making from the store. More family got involved. The business was able to grow. They sold that location, moved on. With that location, they were able to buy 5 more. And that's kind of how the growth began way back when. And today we stand as a company with roughly 20 brands under our umbrella, depending on which day of the week it is you ask. Split up between quick service and full service divisions. We have roughly 350 locations in total, about 100 franchised. The bulk of the business is in QSR. We have about 10 full service restaurants, which are focused mainly in northern New Jersey and eastern PA. And the quick service business, we're in maybe 42 states. So we have a lot of penetration. We operate in different venue types as well. Traditionally, we grew up as the mall food court operator, and that's kind of where we grew up. As that business dynamic has been changing over the last 5 and 10 years, we've been diversifying and expanding into different, more what we would call non-traditional kind of sites. So the airports, the casinos, stadiums, universities, and the real strategy now, today, and going forward is really to be focused on the airports. And that's a business we like. It's a business we can be successful at. It's a business where we can operate multiple units. We don't want to be the operator that's just running one location, pizza by the slice. We want to go in, and we can go in and outfit an entire food court with all the different concepts that you may need.
Talk about the different concepts you guys have.
Yeah, so we have we have what we'll call our 3 core brands. So the main one is Villa Italian Kitchen. That's where we started with the pizza by the slice. Then we have we have a Greenleaf and Bananas, which was through an acquisition in the maybe early 2000s, late 90s, of Everything Yogurt brands, which was out of Staten Island. And so we have roughly 40 locations. That's a better for you, healthy salad, pick and mix, wraps, and smoothie type concept. Then we have a South Philly Steak and Fries, which is the more indulgent brand. South Philly cheesesteaks and fries. It's all in the name.
Yeah. All the good stuff.
Very tasty and good for you.
Yeah.
And then we have what we call our emerging brands, and those brands are more one-offs. They kind of were born out of a necessity. So if we wanted to outfit a food court and there was a need for a burger brand, we created a burger brand. We don't have many, we have a few,
Right.
but we have that concept, we have those recipes, we know how to run that business, and we can go in and kind of copycat that anywhere needed. So we have sushi, we have Asian, we have burger.
So how do you guys think about the different dynamics between the brands? So how do you make sure that each brand has their own culture or their own brand come across? And how do you also leverage the lessons learned between brands, but then also between QSR and full service? So how do you guys think about that mix as a company?
It depends, because for a brand of 1 or 2 locations, it's hard for it to have its own real identity and kind of uniqueness. Yes, the menus are unique and procedures are unique, but those locations all tend to be in what we call multi-unit venues. So we're not just operating the one-off burger place on its own in the middle of nowhere. It's tied to, 3 to 8 locations, let's say, where we're operating an entire food court or a good chunk of it. So the culture really comes from Villa Restaurant Group and VRG and who we are as VRG, more so than who we are, brand by brand.
Right.
So I think for us, it's more about that, and we try to live and breathe that culture, no matter what brand it is that we're thinking about. So the more developed brands, the 3 core brands, do have their own uniqueness in terms of brand personality, and we have, the brand personality statements, and we have presence on social media, and we try to maintain kind of that personality that each one of those brands have, and stay true to it, because they are tried and true brands.
Right.
But I think overarching, the way we approach every day and doing business comes down to we as a group, and what is our culture as a group.
And how does VRG think about technology? And how has that changed and evolved over the years, from 5 years ago to 2 years ago to today, and where do you see that going?
It's been a big evolution, and we've been maybe behind the 8 ball a bit traditionally, and we've really been trying to change that and be on the curve and ahead of the curve, maybe even in some areas. So, I joined the company 3 years ago, just this past month. My background was in finance and data.
Finance wasn't exciting enough to...
Finance got me bored. I got bored of doing the same thing every day, and as exciting as the markets can be, I just got bored of what I was doing. Needed a change. So, my background is heavy on technology and data and how do we use data. So the company was already changing before I got there. There was a big project that we undertook to totally convert our entire POS system. We were very fragmented on different systems. We're now on one platform, which is great, and a lot of our competitors and others in the market we speak to can't say that. So we're proud to say we're on one POS platform. It's a real plus when it comes to trying to do all these additional things and integrations.
And what do you guys think about when you evaluate different technology products? Like, what goes into that decision? Who do you guys involve? And what are the things that you look for?
It has to be. We definitely look for an ROI. Everything has to have an ROI, and you get inundated today with technology. The industry really evolved a lot, even in just my 3 years, and I think a lot of it just stems with all the outside cost pressures on our industry, from labor really being the main one.
Minimum wage going up.
Exactly.
So it's hard to find labor, where you're paying a lot of money, or the gig economy, you notice a difference in talent pool selection.
Big time. So, there's a lot of technology out there competing for a very thin profit margin that already exists. So we have to be very careful in evaluating that technology, talking to who the stakeholders are in that piece of technology. So if it's piece of technology, you don't just talk to marketing or talk to IT, you bring in operations, you talk to accounting. We have more global conversations from leadership all the way down, kind of spanning different groups, and we talk about what are the potential ROIs. Maybe it's not a hard dollar ROI, maybe it's something else. It's something less tangible, but there needs to be an ROI that you can eventually put on paper and say, this technology, we're going to spend X and we're going to get X plus something.
Right.
If you're not getting X plus something, why are you spending the money not only on that technology but on anything?
Right. And how do you guys view that, like, technology in terms of like the consumer experience or the customer journey, or how does that play a role between the customer experience with the brand VRG, with your staff? How do you kind of view that aspect of it?
Well, again, it's been evolving over
Yeah.
just my time here in 3 years. So, we're doing a lot now in terms of social media and trying to engage with our guests on social media, trying to engage with our guests with our reputation scores, and doing a lot to. We had a big push the last 2 years to really push our reputation score up, and try to. Just get better at engaging with guests, whether they're happy or not, and it's not an easy thing to do.
How do you find out why? How do you guys improve and make those better and innovate on that?
Right. So again, it comes down to involving, in this case, operations. So, it can't just be a marketing thing because it's owned by marketing, let's say.
Yeah.
But we need to involve our operations team so that they're aware of what's going on in their locations. Are they doing a good job, or what are the areas of opportunity, and how do we fix that? So our process involves operations. They go into a platform on a daily basis, and once a week they need to submit a form that basically shows all the follow-ups for anything that was highlighted as being an issue. So that's one example of how we're involving operations on a task that would typically be maybe owned by marketing outright. So you have to involve the right parties to both call them out when there's something good to call out, and we try to do a really good job of championing our people who do a great job. And if someone gets called out, I went to store XYZ and Maria was awesome and treated me really well, we make sure that we call Maria out, and that the whole operations team from the top all the way down.
And you've seen different ways in the way customers are engaging with your brand, or how you stand on top of the leading edges of making sure that you're always engaging with your customers or communicating with your customers?
So another big way we're trying to do that is a loyalty program. So we recently partnered with a platform just at the end of last year, and we started rolling out. I think we have maybe 30 locations now on the loyalty platform.
Okay.
So we're really excited about it. It's been great to see, to actually have that data now. We have customer data. We can engage with you right away, right after you have an experience. We can communicate with you many different ways. We want to test a product in a certain location. We can shoot a message out to our loyal base and say, hey, come check this out and give us your feedback, and we'll get feedback like that. It's all instant. So that's one big way that we are evolving. We're always evolving, and it remains to be seen where we can take this platform, and we're in the very, very early stages here, but it's very exciting. Yeah, it's very exciting.
And interested to know, what would be your favorite food item for any of the brands, or your favorite pizza?
That's an easy one.
Yeah?
A margherita pizza.
Okay, what are you gonna get?
Just a margherita.
Oh, margarita.
Yeah, I like it plain and simple. So we have one of our full service concepts. It's called Piattino.
Okay.
And we do Neapolitan style, quick fired stone
little crispy crust.
Exactly. So I like a simple. I like simple flavors, and the margherita that's what I'll have.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to chat with us today. This is fantastic, and great to reconnect.
Absolutely. It was great seeing you. Good talking.
Thanks. Appreciate it.
Thank you.